This time we'll call the Tuesday, October 26, 2021 meeting of the Board of Supervisors to order. Larry McDevitt, Mike Steinis, and myself, Jack Willie, the county supervisors, Lisa Smith and Bjorn Beck from the auditor's office, Luann Goki, our administrative assistant. And at this time, we have 9 o'clock as a public hearing on proposed ordinance 295 Leisure Lake Road speed limit. So we'll call the public hearing to order. And have you had any responses or any comments?
No.
Have we had anything here, Luann?
No.
Have you had anything, Lisa?
I have not.
I haven't had anybody contact me.
Found a letter in the file from about 12 years ago requesting the over speed limit.
Anything else you'd like to say about it?
We've been paying some attention to Leisure Lake Road and being out there as often as I have. We conducted a speed study and did some analysis, which is attached for you and based provided to you, and based on the information or the alignment and the vertical curves through there, 35 just doesn't seem to be an appropriate speed. The traffic volume out there is about 360 vehicles per day. The average speed is about 30 miles an hour, and the 85th percentile speed, which is the speed at or below which 85% of the traffic is traveling, is 37. Now, typically you normally set your speed limit near the 85th percentile speed, but in this case, with the alignment and the number of reverse curves and the sharp horizontal and vertical curve, I felt more comfortable with the 30-mile-an-hour limit. So that's where that recommendation has come from. And on the back page is basically how we would, split that street from Bernard to 113th Avenue. Basically 1/3, 30 miles an hour, and remainders would remain at its current posting, which is 35.
Did drive out there.
And you had a request, somebody asked about it this summer too.
Yeah. And the blacktop looks nice. And that.
Oh, yeah,
It
that
does.
Percent difference.
It looks great.
It does.
It certainly helped that hill.
That's gonna be a good test over the next couple of couple to see if we can do that in other couple places or something too, just to get rid of the washboards and the. There's no further comments. I'd make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to close the public hearing. All those in favor?
I
Aye, motion carried. And what is your,
make a motion to approve.
ordinance number
Ordinance as
295?
they presented.
Do we have a second?
I would second.
A motion and a second to approve the ordinance number 295 for Leisure Lake Road. I indicated it would be 30 miles an hour in the area that David recommended. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
All right.
I
Opposed?
We can do this next meeting if you
Still
like.
have to
Motion carried. Huh?
No, what I think
Still
I'll
have
do
to-
Yeah, I know.
we'll give this to Shelley to put on ordinance paper
Oh,
and have
okay,
the
yeah,
boards and have the board sign.
okay. Yeah, that's my word version.
No, that's fine. So, would you mind having Shelley do that? And then she'll bring it back and we'll get it signed on ordinance paper. No problem.
Okay, David, you're on the business today.
Go ahead.
I'll just question, how many traffic count do we consider before we talk about paving like the rest of it?
Well, I don't know if there's a magic number, but what you see in the literature is somewhere in the vicinity of 400 vehicles per day is when you start becoming more of a higher volume road that you might want to consider paving. As nothing says you hit that number and you have to pave. I mean, you have your budget and that's what your budget is, but it's technically what the literature says.
I'm just surprised by the traffic count, only 300 and.
Well, it was for about a week, and that was the weekdays. There was a little bit higher volume on weekends.
I know that ain't there a rough number like per house, like if you got a subdivision down the road, do they give you like 10 per house or something? Is
In
that
an
around?
urban setting, you generally can expect about 9 to 10 trips per day per house. Now, everybody always says, well, I don't make 10 trips to my house. but that's coming and going. That's service people coming to work on a house, and it's on average across, large areas of us.
Especially if you have a couple kids.
In an urban, in a rural, exactly, in a rural area, it's, I think, 7 to 8. It's a little lower.
So I know you're still doing traffic counts too, is that correct, or? you
We
kind
can,
of-
we have a machine that,
Did you get a new machine again?
we had to get a replacement for the one that we had tried, the one that I bought originally.
Yeah, you said
It
you
counted only in one direction, and
So I
that
guess
was
I'd be-
that was bad on me. They didn't tell me it only counted in one direction. It's like, well, where's the other direction? Well, it only counts in one direction. So,
So
Everybody back up.
I'd be interested in seeing some of them, either on, 380th or 300, 95th, that'd be interesting.
Oh, okay. Well, we have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor? Aye, motion carried.
all right, the only other item I have is a entrance permit for Mr. Jeremy English in Butler Township, Section 10 on the Bernard Road, a residential driveway on the east side of Bernard Road. We've reviewed that and gone through and recommend approval.
Motion and a second to approve the entrance permit for Jeremy English. All those in favor?
All right,
Aye, motion
you
carried.
said residential ventures?
Yes. Yep. Thank you, David. Well, it does, do we have any public that wants to address the board?
I don't know if you guys wanted an update on the projects or not.
Yeah,
That'd be great, yeah.
Forgot. Z34 and Z20 are finished, striped and shouldered. They have some dips and bumps that they're reviewing that we may make them do a little grinding on to try to smooth the ride out a little further. So that's something that Mike's working on.
Do you test that somehow with a wheel or?
There's some type of profile in there.
Yeah.
That, reads the profile and vertical acceleration. whether-
The real, like on the Valley Cascade, there's a real good indication when there's semi-black marks that's right after the bump, so they fly up off into the air and then they hit and make a black mark.
God, I hope not.
Oh, there's one up there.
Is there?
Yeah, right on the
Bernard?
curve, up by Joe Marshall Farm. Yeah, it's funny as heck, because you get about 5 feet past the bump, and all the dual black marks are right there. So it comes off the ground.
All right, marked by the Marshall Farm. Let's see, the bridge on Pumpkin Creek at 100th Avenue is, they're beginning work this week. Schrader is.
Getting ready for Halloween.
Yep, exactly.
Pumpkin
Perfect,
Creek,
perfect.
it's Pumpkin Run. It's just south of Nashville.
Oh, we're almost in Clinton County then.
It's on the Clinton Jackson line.
Yeah.
I've gone over that bridge many a time. Mhm.
We'll have a new one in a couple weeks.
Yeah, I saw they had the signs up and ready to go.
The bridge just east of Miles on 525th Avenue, they're pouring the deck this morning. So that should be open in a couple weeks soon. 188th Street, they're getting ready to do some grading and things, so that hopefully will be,
So the rails are poured and that's up and.
I think so. I haven't been
Yeah,
out
I
there
looked at it.
yesterday.
I was gonna drive out there a couple times. I never got out there.
So
but-
that's
And I hope the dirt work means the approaches, because it looks like if you
Yeah.
came across the bridge, you would be airborne for quite some time before you.
Well, the
Yeah.
Lamont Bridge, when they redid that one, they come through town, looked the same way, but when it's all finished and done, it looks
Yeah.
pretty.
So we're working on that, and Taylor's still working on their bridge.
That seems to be slow. I was.
Yeah, I would not disagree with you.
Okay, the other question on that is, we didn't investigate like closing that little stretch of road. I mean, it don't go anywhere.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
That was kind
I
of.
mean, it's hard to do that, I would think. But Yeah, I mean, there's an outlet going the other way, so it really doesn't go anywhere, but.
Yeah, you can come off to the north of it. Yeah, you could have maybe arguably closed that bridge and, eliminated it, but too late now.
Yeah.
Got a new bridge on it, right?
Yep. Can't move it.
Thank you.
Okay, Lisa, we'll go to you.
Okay. Need a motion to approve the minutes of the October 19th, 2021 and October 21st, 2021 board proceedings as written by Auditor Smith and authorized publication in the official newspapers.
Motion to approve. Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes of the previous two meetings. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion needed to approve and authorize the auditor's office to issue warrants in the publication of the claims listing in the amount of $643,986.30.
I would move to approve. Any comments on that? I mean, I know we had some large ones in there and some of them are pass-throughs. Parts of people that
Yeah,
trail
that
money
was
and
one of them. and-
Trail had 120,000, 121.
we had a bridge payment in there
Yeah,
to
and we
S2.
also had Motorola Solutions in the amount of $161,000.
And the solar panels at the Rcmp Interpretive Center.
Yeah.
That was a second payment on that. Is that correct? That was the question. Did they, do
They
you
got it
know, Larry?
fixed.
They got it
Okay, I was
fixed?
just gonna say, is it fixed?
They ended up shutting off the one line that they hit and then running a new line.
And
Uh,
whose
they-
baby was that? Whose dime?
Well, the way it was located, which it really wasn't because you can't locate it in any wires in it, but they said it was all that way. And they stayed all that way, but they still hit one, so it's kind of on us too. Because we didn't tell them the proper location of it.
Well, to me, when that was put in, there should be a map of that.
Exactly.
And we couldn't find one.
I would think with like drain tile and.
I think they did find one
GPS.
later.
Yeah,
I would think that they should have GPS,
the Kiefer put that system in, correct?
even if they could have put even a tracer line in, just like in a gas
Well,
line. Why
yeah.
would they put a tracer line in?
I think Kiefer did have a map, but it was, and I don't know, Nate. I don't know how it all came.
Well, the thing is, a lot of that has developed more since they put that in probably too, wherever they took their measurements from, but yeah, I don't think we were that far off.
That old saying, coulda, shoulda.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, wait and see, I guess, on that.
I made a motion, I don't know. I interrupted, I apologize.
Yep, I'll second.
A motion and a second to approve the claims as presented. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
then the next item for me today is a discussion of possible motion on the concrete bids for the Haycap building parking lot. We talked about last Tuesday, we did open on Thursday, we received 2 bids. I did visit with Marty as far as the length and the width and the depth, and Marty tells me that it is a 27 by 70 and it is 6 inches of concrete. And I didn't ask as far as if the rebar was gridded or if they just, that I can't tell you, but I believe that he talked to both contractors and told both of them. So I don't know if this is something that you want to proceed with today or.
Well, actually, I mean, the actual cost comes out the same square footage, but the one contractor put the wrong footage in there. And that kind of makes it, I mean, his bid is, I don't remember the numbers, how much higher it was.
One was
$1,360.
$11,340. The other one was $12,960.
So going by the bottom line of the bid, I would make a motion that we should accept the lowest bid.
Which would be Miller.
Concrete.
Miller Concrete and Construction.
Okay, I had another question about that though for Marty, and I don't know what was on his spec sheet. Is there a timeline to have it done? I don't want to be pouring concrete in December 15th.
None of us do.
I don't know on that.
I guess that would have been an important thing on the bid too, but it wasn't on it.
Well, do you want to table action on it and find out? Are we gonna just not do it till spring or?
Well, either way, the other bid we can't because it's so much higher than the first one. And I know it's a error in,
So maybe the question is you could accept the bid if it gets done by a certain date.
If we have a time frame, I would guess that to be November 30th. I don't know that, again, depending on weather, I suppose, but yeah, it could be really cold by then. I mean,
Well, and Marty's concerned about this winter then trying to go down there and put salt on the sidewalk and try and keep the salt off of
but it's
this new
not
area.
clear, yeah.
And he said he will ruin it.
Well, at this point, I would not second that motion. I think we should just hold off and see what the spring brings.
Or we can call Marty and see, you know, and maybe this gentleman can do it next
maybe they
week.
can do it next week. and
Yeah.
have it done.
So we should make a decision right now. Maybe we should call Marty, see where he's at and have him.
Luann, do you want to check and see if you can if you can get a hold of Marty? If he's still around, tell him to come down to the office right now.
I think the van may still be here. I'm not sure. What do you think?
Just here. a little bit, I think.
Oh, okay, all right. So, we'll leave that on my
I mean, if we can get
agenda.
it poured this year, that section of it could be left alone for the winter.
Yeah, I don't know if we need to salt that part of it.
Salt it or not even plow it, just wait, just leave it sit under the snow.
Well, it's part of the
Hey, Marty,
parking
you can
lot.
write in the supervisor's office.
It is part of the parking lot right now, right?
Oh,
No, well, I mean, it's got grass on it.
okay, when you get
They aren't
here,
using it. for
Thanks.
parking.
Yeah,
he said it'll take you a little bit, I'll be back.
Table that till he gets back. What do you do with that motion?
We don't have a second to it, so we don't have a motion right now. Okay, what time was John gonna call, do you know?
well, we have a 9:30 public hearing on the FY22 budget amendment.
You got other business you have to take care of here yet?
So the last thing that I have, items B and C do deal with the budget amendment. Item D is a motion needed to approve resolution number 843-10-26-2021 to approve and authorize Emergency Management Coordinator Lynn Meeninger applying for the USDA grant for the ISIS 911 radio system as approved on September 21st, 2021, as recorded in Resolution Book 4, page 388.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the application for the grant. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.
And then
At this time, we'll recess until we're joined by Marty Goodley. We're discussing.
Here, Mike, see that?
That's awesome.
Marty, we are discussing the parking lot. Did either of these individuals, Millers or Cosell, indicate when they would be able to do it?
No, but they said they'd get it done.
I mean, getting it done and getting it done timely is the big issue,
Right.
because we don't want them to pour it after it gets so cold that it's not gonna.
No, he's, if I remember right, I'd be lying to you. I think he said before the second week in November is what he said.
Miller Construction,
Both of them.
both of them.
Okay. Okay.
I could verify that and get back to you, but I'm pretty sure that's what they said.
So what's your position as far as when you go down there to clear that and spread salt? We don't need to put any salt on that new concrete, correct?
I won't,
That's right.
because it won't be, it would be all, the top would be off.
Scaled off.
We don't want it all pitted and all
Right.
that stuff.
Right.
I mean, would you even need to plow it for the winter?
I don't exactly know what they're doing with it, but if nobody's gonna park there, I would not, no. Maybe we ought to touch base with Danielle and tell her, we're gonna pour this, but we're not
You
plowing it in
mean
the winter time.
Ronell?
Huh?
You mean Ronell?
Who'd I say?
Danielle.
Danielle.
Okay,
We could talk to her, but she doesn't. care.
yeah,
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so when you pour concrete, you need to leave it set for 21 days before you get on it.
right.
So that puts us into December and then it should be covered with snow and I just leave it alone for the winter. You know, unless, well, I wouldn't even want, I mean, it's still gonna be green.
Yeah,
You don't want to drag a snowplow past it.
So what we're talking about doing, if we make a motion to do this, we'd like to have a date, completion date
okay.
along with it in the motion, and if it doesn't get completed like that, we're gonna scratch it till next year.
Can you give me a half an hour? And I know one guy's working at McDonald's and the other guy's working right up here, and I'll
Go find out.
go find out and I'll get back to you.
Well, really, the only one you really need to find out from is Miller.
Okay, and I'm pretty sure he's working at McDonald's out here. I see him out there this morning.
So the other thing is, if we say November 20th, let's
All
say.
we can say is if we can't get it done by then we need to wait till spring.
Right.
Yeah, or it's either null and void, or they get fined per day that it ain't done, just like the other contracts, you know.
Yeah. I'll go see what I can do and we'll come back and then discuss it then, okay?
See how he feels.
That'll be
about it.
fine.
All right. Thank you. I'm looking at it, I'm still.
Would you call Shelley over? We might just, because are you wanting to do the public hearing next?
Yep.
For the budget amendment?
Yep.
So we'll have Shelley come over and,
Would like you to come over for the public hearing.
and we'll do the budget. Do you have any questions concerning the budget amendment?
Thanks.
I don't have any questions.
Because
Is this right here?
what Shelley has done is,
She will find
so
out,
what
right?
she did is that she gave you a breakdown of the different areas of the budget amendment. We did put the budget amendment in for the building at the the new law enforcement center, so we've got that taken care of. But Shelley did a really good job of doing the ins and outs and why we're doing the amendment.
Good morning. We're joined by Shelley Hoy, Deputy Auditor, and she's gonna go over this information with us about the budget amendment.
Okay. The first major thing is putting money on the expense side for the American Rescue Plan money to spend that for the 911 dispatch councils. We've got the money, but we don't have it budgeted, so we had to put it in. There's also money in there for the nurses, the health nurses, COVID money that they get from the state. In shredding of files for the human services in the auditor's office.
Is that the sanitary contract labor? No, we're how far down are we here?
The human services one is the
Do you have
third.
this sheet that goes over each one of them?
Yeah, but we skipped from the ARP.
Well, I was sort of combining.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
I'll go in order. So we have the shredding for the nurses on that third line. Then we have general relief in the next few lines for assistance. Then we have the health department insurance additional due to changing from single to family. Contract labor for the Clinton, with the Clinton County Sanitarian. Assistance for when we switched from Kimberly to Elizabeth.
Okay.
Because we did was it 2 revolving loans this year? I upped, we still have money left in the fund, so in order to spend that money, I upped the amount of the revolving loan line, loans that we can pay out to 300,000. Then Nathan asked for an amendment for the grapple bucket for the using money from the timber sales for 2,300. Then we upped we had to put money in for the zoning department's unemployment. Township clerk, FICA and IPERS and bookwork, additional money. shredding for the auditor's office for the election side. And the annual audit, we did not get fiscal year 2020's bill until 2021, so we couldn't pay 20s in the correct year. So now we're paying two. We better get 21 in
it's in the same
this
year.
fiscal year, so we get back on track. So we're paying for two audits in 1 year. And Civil Service Commission, we did not budget for we have to have a minimum amount for the Civil Service Commission based on what salaries are for the Sheriff's Department. So I upped that civil service by $4,400, so. And then architectural fees for the jail construction. 353,600. And then some more shredding for the auditor's office for the administration side. And then to be able to pay for the metal building on the jail site for 200,000. And then the jail construction management fees for Midwest for 343,081.
So Shelley, will them fees be reimbursed back in when we do the bondage revenue?
Yes,
Yes,
that's my understanding.
okay,
think it-
other
well-
than maybe the metal building, is that
Not
capital
the-
improvement?
Not the middle.
Well, and I think it depends on what it kind of depends on what our
Bid?
bid is.
Yeah.
They're only
Well,
bond for 5.9.
Yeah. But we still have to show whether we did that out of the general fund or whether we reimburse that back to the bond.
Well, right now I've got all of those fees coming out of the capital projects fund. So we transfer money from the general into that fund. So all of the actual expenses come out of the capital projects fund so that it's easily tracked.
And that's that $550,000. The bottom
Um,
line.
No, that's the 550,000 is for the ARPA money.
To Motorola,
That's
Yes.
dispatch council.
right.
I'm talking about the jail bond construction. Am I talking?
But down on the bottom.
On the
you also
bottom line,
have-
it says $550,000
Oh,
operating
I'm
transfer
sorry.
for jail capital project fund.
Yes, sorry. That's what I get for having two line items that are different,
Okay,
that same amounts.
okay.
So yes, you're right.
So the total expenditure amendment is $2,421,390.
Yes,
For that page.
yes.
Yep.
And then your revenues. The American Rescue Plan money, that first installment, the first half installment is $1,887,899. So that helps offset that $2,421,000 that we're spending out. Makes it look good.
Shelley, have they gotten that 40,000, the nurses? Have they received that or is that coming?
That's coming.
So that one is just.
So that will
passed.
offset also then, correct?
Yeah.
Yes, the nurses portion that on the expense side, that 49,320,000, that second line there on the expense side,
Mhm.
that's offset by the money that we get from the state. So it's a pass through.
But when it's all said and done, the amendment that's not reimbursed back to us would be
About 2,380,000.
65,000. Difference. You have to take into consideration that the 300,000 for your revolving loan fund
may not be you.
may not be
That's
used,
right.
so, I mean, we have to make these amendments in case, but it doesn't mean that we're going to.
And if we don't, obviously, if we don't use the involved.
That was my point. It could be very minimal.
That's right,
When we
yes.
get reimbursed and.
That's right. So if you don't have any other questions, I would need a motion to approve resolution number 842-10-26-2021 for the amendment to the county budget for the fiscal year 2021/2022 as recorded in resolution book 4, page 387.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, Shelley.
I also would need a motion to approve and authorize the chair's signature on the record of hearing and determination on the amendment to the county budget for fiscal year 2022. Is that 2021 and 2022, Shelley? You've got a 22 and 22 and certified to the state. So this is, have to be the same. So it's for fiscal year 2021/2022. Yes.
I move to approve the chair's signature as proposed.
Second.
So a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.
Thanks, Shelley. And then just going back, I see Marty is back. Discussion of possible motion on the concrete beds for the HACAP building parking lot.
So what did you find out, Marty?
He said, yes, he can have it done by the 20th of November.
Fair enough.
That's good.
You want to reword that motion?
Just
We
one
didn't
other
get-
thing is we're keeping the dirt. Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Okay.
cheers.
We're gonna stockpile it down there and then use a little bit here in the lawn and some over Penrose Annex.
Pile it up there where they drive through with the,
How is that going?
Terrible. They just,
Still?
yeah, I think they pushed the post out of the way and keep driving through there.
did you talk to law enforcement about cameras?
No, I have not.
Do that, please.
I will do that. I talked to the city, but he never got back to me.
Okay,
I'd make a motion to accept the low bid for the concrete work, which will be finished by November 20th.
So, second.
okay. We're awarding the contract to Miller Concrete for $11,340 to enlarge the parking lot at the Haycop building. And the requirement is that it has to be done by November 20th,
Completed.
completed. Okay,
Is,
that's the same as being done.
yeah, is that include your groundwork?
Yeah. Yeah, all we're gonna do is just put dirt around, throw grass seed on for now. All right,
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.
thank you.
Thank you.
That's all on my agenda for today.
Well, we'll recess till we're joined by Christina. She should be here any minute. We reconvene the meeting and we're joined by Christina Trennell, our zoning administrator. Incidentally, I had somebody from Preston at another meeting that I was at, and she said that she certainly wanted to compliment your efforts.
Oh, thank you.
She was very pleased with what you're doing.
Great. That's good to hear.
And so are we.
Good,
Makes us all feel good.
good. Yes, I wanted to come in today to discuss a open nuisance violation. I had sent a letter out in September and they responded back requesting an extension for the property. I believe you have some photos in front of you and some of the paperwork. So what the issue was, they had a trailer that was parked in the right of way. They've now got a truck backed up to that trailer and it looks like it's out of the right of way at this point. But then there's also other parts, vehicle parts, car doors, things like that, that's around there. So they were requesting an extension, another 30-day extension. I guess it'd be basically from today, to get that trailer moved out, and then another 6 months to remove some of the inoperable vehicle parts.
I guess I'm gonna throw my opinion out there.
Sure.
I looked at the before and after pictures that you had, and it looks like they did a considerable amount of cleanup.
Yeah,
Not that they couldn't do a little more.
right.
I'm not so sure I'm enthused with another 6 months. That brings us back in right in the dead of winter, and you're not moving them vehicles if they're frozen down. I think if they're in the right of way, they most certainly need to be moved within the next 30 days.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a matter of hooking onto them and dragging them the way it looks to me, so.
yeah.
What is the right of way out there?
I believe it's 33 feet from center line.
Okay, do we have some document that would say that?
Yeah, I can get something.
Well, that's the normal right of way. I
Mhm.
guess what you run into a lot of times when a road's been redone
Yeah,
and you change the road, they a lot of times keep I mean, I've seen some where right of ways are 100 and some feet because they keep the old right of way.
That's right.
And,
There was a town here, a Hurstville Interpretive Center.
Yeah, so I mean,
100 feet on one side.
Sure.
I'm okay with, I don't know, I'm not okay with the 60 days, that's what I'm not. I'm okay with the 30 days if he keeps,
6 months
improving.
is too far out.
if he keeps improving. If in the next 2 weeks you go out there and you look and there's nothing changed,
yeah,
then in 6 months, yeah, we're done, or a month, we're done, you know.
yeah,
I don't know, that's just my opinion.
I guess he just has to make progress.
so it could be like a 30-day follow-up, see
Yeah,
how things
yeah,
are going and
yeah.
kind of come back to you guys and show you what is going on out there. Okay,
Yeah, I think he's making an effort, and it's not the only place we have, of course, where something's in the right of way, but, you know,
Yeah.
we have to attack them one by one or whatever we're doing. But,
okay, sounds good.
I mean, so do you just respond to the attorney and say,
Yeah, I'll put a letter together saying that there's another, we'll grant him a 30-day extension to get the truck and everything moved out of the right of way. And basically wording it somehow to say that progress must be shown that
Yeah.
he's making an effort to get stuff moved, car parts moved out. If there's no effort being seen, then it would be.
I mean,
a
he
violation.
certainly has some other debris that needs to be picked up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
there's
It's
some
it's
dead trees
minimal,
and
or
stuff,
it's
too.
not minimal, but it's better than what it was, I should say, so. It is an improvement. It looks like he's making an effort, just if we continue like Jackson to make that effort.
All right, that sounds good.
Okay, appreciate the follow-up.
All right. Great, that's all I had.
Okay,
Thanks.
thank you.
Okay, Luann?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
All right, tonight, on the calendar at 6:30 tonight is the Coconut River Watershed Management Authority meeting in Monticello. It's a required meeting for Larry, he's on that board, but it's open to the other two if you want to attend that. Wednesday, October 27th at 7 PM is the Jackson County EMS Association meeting in Bellevue for all of you. Thursday, October 28th at 9 AM is a RPA meeting in Dubuque for Jack and Larry. Friday, October 29th at 7 AM is a Macocata Leadership Team meeting for Larry. I have to look, they may have decided to postpone that
canceled that.
and go into November with
Yeah,
that.
so they did.
Okay. Our next, sorry, oh,
A couple questions, I guess.
Sure.
Is that RPA meeting, is that the year-end one that they have? Or is that?
that's
no,
in
okay.
December.
All right. And emergency management? I guess I will plan to attend that unless something goes haywire.
One in Bellevue.
Yeah. I mean, I went to the one in Andrew, and if I can make them, I'll try to make them. They're kind of interesting and just to keep updated on that stuff. So I might need a binder with the agenda and also a small one if we have.
Okay. I think we might. Anything else?
Well, that's it.
Okay. Our next regular meeting will be on Tuesday, November 2nd, which is election day, so Lisa will be a little busy that day.
Yep.
At 11:30 that morning is a workforce virtual lunch and learn by Zoom for Jack.
So this Wednesday night one, where is that held?
That's fire station.
Fire station in Bellevue.
They switch them up was it every 2 months they have a meeting or every month?
So they switch it around to different
Yeah, last one was
places.
in Andrew, I believe, and the next one's in Macokota, but Baldwin Monmouth are sponsoring it. I believe it's either in the library or the fires. I think on the last email we have, the next 4 meetings were scheduled on there,
Yes,
on the agenda.
yes, and they're on your calendars. So
Oh, okay.
what I knew about the locations I put on your calendars.
Okay. It's gonna be kind of interesting to see what they come up with the new legislation last year with their
Making it a.
essential
Essential
service, essential service, but no funding, so.
Isn't that where you have to have a 60% to pass the levy for? it?
Yeah, and
Have an
I
election.
know they're having conversation in Bellevue with the council right now. There's a proposal out there because they lost 2 or 3 of their elderly, 40-year guys that have been on the volunteer fire department or ambulance service for years, and it's just getting too much, so now during the day, they have about 1 or 2 people that can respond, and it's getting tougher and tougher, so they don't know which way they're gonna go either. And Ryan's name also came up, just so you know, so that, is he capable 1 day a week or something to that effect? I know he goes to Baldwin, Preston, to Beulah from time to time, so I don't know how that works out.
Has he been going to Bellevue too?
I don't think so.
Okay. The business I have today has to do with appointments. For the compensation board specifically. I'm looking for a motion to accept the resignation of Terry Donner from the compensation board, and she's been on that board for 3 years.
Make a motion to approve.
I would second with a thank you for serving.
Without a doubt. Okay, all those in favor of the motion? Aye, motion carries.
And then to replace her as the supervisor representative on the compensation board, we had 2 applications for that. So I'm looking to appoint one of those 2 applicants to this position. It's for a 4-year term. Goes to 2025.
Again, I want to point out, we had 2 very good applicants, the way it looks, and both have certain qualifications. At this time, I'd like to make a motion to appoint, and this is for the supervisors.
Representative
our
on the
representative.
compensation board, correct?
I would make a motion to approve Neil P. Harrison as our representative.
I would second. Noting that both
Hmm?
were excellent choices.
Yeah.
I think gender balance wise, there's 3 of each at the moment.
Yeah,
so-
I know there is. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Aye.
All right, that's all I had.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Was John gonna call at 10 o'clock? Do you know?
He said he would zoom in, I assume so.
Okay. Any committee reports or commissioner board reports? We had early childhood last night. We are finishing up our annual report that we have to submit. It's a community plan, and last night we went over 71 pages of information that we have to submit to the state board. So Peggy should have that done. We're having a special meeting on the 25th, I think it is, to go over that, the executive committee, and then we have to have another meeting of the full board to approve it, so it's really in depth. Then after that, on my way home, I turned on my iPad and I sat in on the workforce board meeting. had several things we had to do, some business, basically in-house cleaning that we needed to do. A couple evaluations of Phyllis, our new assistant that we've had for 90 days, and she's doing a great job. And then last week we had our Limestone Bluffs Rcmp meeting, and talked about, we still talked about the fact that Jones County and Dubuque County are not participating, and basically we talked about, we're gonna just, I mean, currently we're doing services for Dubuque County, we're doing services in Jones County, and we basically said no more. If they're not gonna pay their dues, they shouldn't get any of the rewards, so it's really frustrating, especially Anamosa. They get a lot of stuff that's being done, and several of our revolving loan funds are with businesses in Jones County, so it's kind of frustrating to the rest of us. But
What are the dues? You know,
7,500.
7,500. That's a small amount in the budgets we deal with.
And the odd thing is Dubuque County contracts with RC&D for their food, like the food policy council. She does a lot of the work for it, and we've hired 2 individuals that are working both part-time for the Dubuque Policy Council, but they work through us.
Will that continue?
I don't know. I said we needed to just pull back and say, okay, if you're not gonna participate, they've never, I mean, they haven't, almost as long as I've been on the board, they have not sent a representative to the meetings. There was always a representative from Jones County, but no one, of course, comes now, and of course, it's just kind of frustrating, especially when we
The
were,
benefits would outweigh the.
especially when we were meeting in Anamosa at Tom Miller's office before we retired. We always met at their office space because it was supposedly more central. So I don't know what's gonna happen, but we're gonna have to make some changes of some sort.
So how often have they been notified of that?
Oh, I would say quite often.
Okay.
More than their
And
share of the sky.
I guess the frustrating part to me is when the director contacts Dubuque County to get on the agenda to make a presentation, their Luann never calls her back and never schedules her to come.
Really?
So, and I talked to Dave Baker about that, and Dave said, I'll make sure she gets on, but he's not there anymore. So, I don't know. It just, it's really frustrating when you're trying to work for everybody and all the players aren't there.
So the representative from each county, normally one of the supervisors?
And then they have water and soil, and there's a couple agricultural people, because Joel's on our C&D board, Joel Brown from over by
I'm just wondering if
Jones County.
Harley is aware of, is aware of it. I know there's enough.
Well, she sends them information all the
Yeah.
time.
But it should be.
She sends them copies of the minutes and all that, so they get it, but they just, for some reason or other, they just haven't been willing to participate. So with that being said, before I get any more frustrated, we'll recess until we're joined. This time we'll reconvene the meeting, and we're being joined by John Hanson. Good morning, John.
Good morning. How are you today?
Good.
Oh, we're just hunky dory.
Well, good.
Okay, we're ready to talk about awarding the bid for the storage building at the new jail site.
Okay,
Okay, and we're waiting for your recommendation.
okay, well, we had solicited 5 contractors. We received 2 bids back. Of course, the one bid was from Schuler and Sons for $129,900.
Schrader, that was from Stockham.
Oh, yes, Stockham, I'm sorry, yes.
Okay,
For $129,989 for the smaller building with an add of $24,890 to go to the 48 by 72. I did talk to Dave and you know, he had just figured just 2x6 building, 2x6 exterior walls and such. And that was his price. I did, and then we received the second bid from Dave River Construction. And his bid for the 40 by 64 building was $80,486. And an add of $15,217 to go to a 48 by 72 building. So I did talk to Dave about the stamp drawings that we discussed, that the city was saying that they would need engineered stamp drawings. And he got a price for Wix to do it, which would be $3,216. The one thing we did discuss, and I think that Mike discussed it with Wix also, is they're anticipating a 5% increase November 1st on all their materials. So that's something that we probably need to keep in mind. I thought for the $15,217 to go to the larger building that you originally wanted, that was a really reasonable price if we're going to go into it to do it. And that would bring the total contract amount to $95,703. And I would also recommend that we approve the $3,216 to get the sealed drawings that the city is going to require for to meet their requirements. So I guess my recommendation would be, if we're going to proceed with the building, is to award the contract to Dave River Construction in the amount of $98,919. I guess I'm open for any.
and what?
19.
Okay,
98,919.
okay.
Hey, John. Is
Yes.
this building lined on the inside? I know
Yes.
it would need to be for the insulation, but,
Yeah, it's got liner panel on the inside.
okay.
So is it insulated and lined, or is it,
Yeah, it's insulated and lined.
okay, with steel?
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
So,
per,
John,
per the request for proposal that was sent out to him.
so do you have a date when he would be able to do it?
Yeah, he felt that, he said, you know, with them, the stamp drawings, you know, they're probably 8, 12 weeks out, but he said that in January, you know, with weather and material dependent, that he could start on it. Now, I did receive some contacts for the building. I received ones from the somebody on the staff with the sheriff's department for county line concrete for Quentin Butts. He's out of Preston. And then Mike had sent me a couple of Weber concrete, Loris Weber out of Bellevue. and D&T Concrete, Daryl Berthel out of Bellevue, that we could follow up to solicit bids for the concrete itself. And I would work with them for different options to come up with a cost to present to the supervisors. Since we publicly bid it the first time, we can go out and solicit bids and just negotiate it without going to a public, formal public bid. So they would submit bids, we'd qualify them, and then we'd present the bids. I'd present the bids to you for consideration.
You got somebody locked in the other room, or is that construction going on?
I got a lot of construction going on.
I was beginning to think butt was shaped
My,
mounted on the wall.
my question is, I guess, I don't know if that's even feasible or even, so would our assistant engineer be able to do these drawings for, or is that, I guess it sounds fairly reasonable to do this building, but I don't know if you give them the specs and tell them this to draw up, but I don't know.
I don't know if that can be done. I can check with Alex, but given, you know, the interest, you know, the structure, you know, and the odds and ends, the trusses and this and that, I don't know if Alex could accomplish that much to appease the city.
Okay,
as far
well,
as-
just touch base with him once and feel him out. You know, if these drawings are out 8 to 12 weeks, that's 2 to 3 months. I mean, we're not gonna get any concrete in unless.
Well, we can get the concrete in now. We're just waiting on the building material, and that can be built during the
Somebody
winter.
bid it can do it.
So John, on this 5% increase on materials, if we approve this today and give him a down payment, can he lock that in on today's prices?
I don't believe we'll need a down payment. I wouldn't think we'd need a down payment. I think that what we would do is I would issue a contract and a formal notice to proceed. And then he would order it immediately, and then we'd be locked in on the current pricing,
Okay,
is my understanding and what I discussed with Dave.
Okay. Or double check, because I had talked to, Quick Building, and I think their contract reads 25% down and then X amount of dollars on delivery and X amount of dollars on.
And we can do that just to save that money.
Yeah, and we can do that as necessary. So,
yeah, that's, I think we need to try to do that if we can. If they require it.
I mean, that's another $4,500 and no sense adding to this cost. So,
I
That's for
certainly
sure.
feel the same way as you do, John. I mean, you do the numbers and the square footage price on the extra 900 and some square feet. I mean, you're basically getting that extra 900 square feet for about half the square footage cost.
yeah. Well, you know, they're mobilized, they're there, they're working, and you know, that cost is minimal to get the larger building that we need. And it's like any barn you build, if you build it, it's never big enough. So,
And we've got plenty of uses for it, I think. But
you gotta, you know, your emergency equipment can be stored inside, so it will start in the case of emergency and
yeah.
such, and so it will definitely be used.
And it was behind a bulldozer, so how do you get it out?
Okay, what's the pleasure of the board?
I would make a motion to accept the contract as John presented for the $98,919.
And that's to purchase a 48 by 72 building
And
With the
erected
drawings.
on
and the drawings, yeah.
on our foundation, Matt. This does not include the foundation.
Right.
For the floor.
I would second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.
So just keep us posted how this progresses in the next week or two with the footings or with the concrete individuals and.
Yep, I'm gonna be talking to them. I mean, we need to get something back from them, right away. I mean, we're getting late in the year. And
The sooner the better.
yeah, I agree with you. So if you hear of anybody else that's interested, please let me know. And I'll follow up with these gentlemen right away.
Okay,
Hey, John,
Just a note.
there's an option I've used different times is ICF forms, which are insulated concrete forms, which means you can pour in freezing temperatures. All you need to do is cap the top of the wall with it. That might be an option. I don't know how big it costs, but then your walls are insulated too, which it does call for.
Yeah, but we don't have a basement on this particular one. And I mean, there's been discussion of using a slab on grade. I've talked to Dave and he has a couple of buildings. The one across the street is a slab on grade with a 1 foot. But I'm not sure that that's really, I would like to at least see a trench footing. And then they can come in and then pour a stem wall on it or a monolithic pour. I guess I'm gonna talk to the different contractors and talk to them about possible options
Okay,
that I can present to you. I mean, if the ICF forms, you'd have to over excavate, go down, pour the footing, and then put your forms on, and you're gonna have a hard time bracing them unless you over excavate quite a bit. And I mean, I've used them before and, they've come a long ways from where they were before. But I guess we just need to take a look at what that cost is, but I'll take it under.
absolutely. Well, you do the checking, keep us informed and we'll move forward.
It sounds great. Okay, if you need anything else, give me a yell.
And the same to you.
And we will have to sit down. I was gonna sit down with the sheriff to determine where we want the overhead doors. Do we want them on one side and then leaving a bigger space man door that you could just store stuff, or how we want those doors laid out? And I can get together with Brett and also with you guys and we'll get something, identified on how we want to lay that building out as far as that goes.
Okay,
And anything else that you'd want in there at this time. Anything that we'd want in, if you do want water in there, I would just leave it at this. We would just leave it out so that we can get to it. And that way we can get back in there, and same with electrical.
Just an opinion, John, I would lean toward the footing.
Yeah, I would lean towards something. I don't care if it's a monolithic floor slab pour, if it's up out of the ground high enough, or some type of footing, just because I would hate that, you're gonna build it up and I wouldn't want that building to settle. So, I mean, if you're putting that much money into a building, you want it to be good for a while, so.
Just on a
Okay.
different subject, just on a maybe a little different subject, are we proceeding and are we on track for our final drawing so we can bid out here or go out to publication and to bid?
Yep, I'm working with the engineers right now. I have all my front end specifications pretty well ready to go. I need to confirm a couple of things with the auditor as far as the pre-bid. We have a pre-bid meeting where we meet with the contractors and they can ask questions in regards to what they're bidding. So I just need to kind of get that scheduled. I'd probably try to hold that down in the lower conference room and just confirm the times for the bids with her, because I want to make sure FedEx and UPS make their deliveries prior to when we open the bids, or, to the bid letting time, so.
Okay.
But other than that, Mike, I told him we've got to be done, we've got to get it done, so I'm hoping to have preliminary drawings here in the next week or so,
Be great.
okay?
Yep,
Yep.
we've been thinking about it. for
Give me a
6
call,
months.
John. We'll discuss that and see the availability of the community room.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll get this contract put together and this notice to proceed out to him, Dave River, and then I will ask him what we need to do as far as locking in the current cost.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, and you have a good day.
You too, John.
You too. Okay, at this time, we'll be joined by Jeannie Collins Hire, our weed commissioner. Good morning.
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 So I submitted the annual report and I guess for the year, there was two complaints come into the center and they were both roadside and I dealt with them and there was one individual I ended up calling. We're working on the warm fuzzy letter about cutting some thistles and he took care of that within a few days. So that's kind of where we're at there.
By the looks of this report, we got a lot of weeds.
And yeah, you don't really notice them till you go out and really look for them. You can come across them.
Or know what you're looking for.
I mean, you really see a lot of landowners, though, I mean, doing a lot more trimming and pruning and this, I mean, some of the fence line had grown up so bad, you don't need a bulldozer, I think, to clean them, but a lot of these road ditches are being mowed and
Yeah,
tucked up. I don't know if that's good or bad for insects and whatnot, but, or, you know.
I guess
wild-
it's good for noxious weeds, but sometimes it's not the best for wildlife.
So when you have a one marked a problem, is that's how big a problem?
Probably seeing enough of it maybe to keep an eye out for it and
So-
address it when it.
Yeah, so that was our whole point when we got the sprayer and such. That I know it was first year that we really got into that, but hopefully we can move forward with that a little bit.
And I did put together a letter and redid some of the notices and Luann had forwarded them to the county attorney and for her approval, and we really haven't heard back yet, so
No.
that's kind of where we're at with that. They're kind of put together and we'll see what she thinks about it.
I mean, there's a lot of things I never heard. What's a pokeweed?
That's the Indian pokeweed. It's the one that's been coming up with the purple
Yeah.
berries on it. I mean, some of them are as tall as this room.
Yeah, the past few years, you've really seen them, a lot more of them.
They got the little red berry type thing?
Yep, they have big, really big leaves.
And they're really like in the timbers too, and they just kind of
Timber
go up
edges,
and they're
yeah.
brushy.
Yep, they have kind of a big stem.
You cut them, they come up miserably twice as bad.
The birds spread the seed, I
Yeah.
think, and then.
Yeah, I got some.
Those good old birds. Anybody else have any questions?
Well, I appreciate you spending the time and going over it. Our previous reports were kind of vague. At least we know we have some issues and that we're addressing them.
Are you looking for a motion to have the chairman sign this report?
Yes.
Yes, we are.
So moved.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Do we feel, do you need more equipment or anything or bigger? What's your feelings on that?
Might look at a boom for the sprayer we got for the truck. That'd be a little handier than sometimes get out, roll the hose out, you spray away, roll the hose back in, and then you're back in the truck and pull ahead, a couple hundred feet. Sometimes a boom would work nice, maybe for that.
Okay.
When you're by yourself.
Yeah, why don't you
We
check
had-
into that, see what it costs?
If the staff can go along and drive the truck and I can just walk and spray, that's great, but that's, someone's not always.
That's a long way to walk.
That's right.
Okay.
I'd be interested in just calling you sometime and see some of the stuff that we use here, this Garland 3A. I know I have
The state uses that quite a bit
Yeah.
in road ditches.
And it's a pricey little thing.
Yeah, and then if you go out Rockdale, across the bridge, I treated some black locust. We were kind of doing an experiment, see how well that was gonna work for that, and it looks like it's really knocked it back. If you look, just go past the cement plant and it's on the right there. I treated some black locust, so.
So
I think
black
it'll be-
locust, is that a tree or?
Yep,
um,
it's pretty invasive, and you can kind of see the ones that have died off and the ones that I haven't gotten to, that how they've spread on just in a few years there.
Yeah, it'd be nice to catch up with some of that. I might have to call you and talk about that.
All right. Sounds good.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Gene.
Thank you.
I,
I didn't hear you vote.
What'd you think?
You had a motion, but you didn't vote.
Okay. All those in favor?
I,
Aye, motion carried.
Thank you.
she's happy.
Thank you.
If it's that easy, why don't we do this more often?
Amen. Okay, is there any other business to come before the meeting today? I guess the only thing I would like to see us do is I would really like to send a letter to Schulers. I know we hired them to do it, but I think the 3 crew people that came to the hospital, and the first day there was 4, second day there was 3. I think they did a remarkable job
Yes.
of assisting us, and
Mhm.
and I thank them personally, but I said, we're gonna let your boss know. I think they really did a great job of hauling things. When I was down at the Peace Pipe Players Building, in my mind's eye, I just thought there'd be stuff everywhere. They really did a great job in organizing it. It should be easy to go in and find something if you need to find it. I just wish the building would have been a little bigger, so our hallways weren't involved with the storage part.
You should go downstairs and see what Bjorn's done in our election rooms. It looks fantastic.
Richard Sheldon?
Yeah,
So did you have
Interior
enough?
decorator?
he's not done yet. Yeah,
Pictures. on
he's
the
not
wall,
done yet,
everything.
but you should go down and see it. It's fabulous.
I really think that we need to contact the Fair Board, and we need to contact the Together We Build group, because apparently there were things taken that shouldn't have been.
It's my understanding that the hospital has contacted them for those.
Those
To
items.
be returned.
Okay, that's already been done.
I believe the hospital did that, yes.
I
Good.
think I was there when he called.
Okay.
Yeah, so. But I think that it would be, I would like to see us send a letter to Schulers, because they really did do
That was a
It
game
was a
changer.
lifesaver.
It was a game
I mean,
changer.
we
We
never
couldn't have
would've-
done it. Mhm.
we'd still be there.
No, you
Yeah.
can't expect to do that.
Yeah.
That's just a lot of stuff and that's.
Tell
People
us
got
about
things
it.
to do and. you know.
We certainly know that.
Well, that didn't hurt you any.
How do you know? Certainly didn't hurt you.
Hey, you know, I got things to do.
I didn't make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.